Bigfoot's done a ton of racing. In the last 10 years, he's probably won 8 championships, I believe.
You know, car crushing is kind of gravitated to the racing format. You're still crushing cars, so to speak, but you're not crushing, you're flying over them now. It's another natural progression.
This is Andy Brass and Bigfoot 8. This is the first suspension truck we had. And it changed the whole way you race.
It was the most tested truck that we've ever built. It's so much more fluid than the spring trucks, and we found out very early on that this was the way of the world with monster trucks. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen with a tube chassis and gas-charged shocks. Acceleration, the truck just hooks up that much better, gets off the line, lands, you know, as it's landing, you're ready to go for the next obstacle. You just couldn't do that with the spring truck. Much, much more control. Look at this truck accelerate. And talk about driver confidence. Driver hopped in one of these trucks, and within 5 practice sessions, he was ready to run. It was an easy adaptation for him. It was just that much better quality of a piece of machinery.
Well, the biggest thing is they didn't get bounced around as hard this year.
That's what I mean.
Not as much physical abuse.
You know, power, performance, confidence level came up because they weren't taking that physical abuse. That was the biggest reason why you designed number 8, Bob, was we hurt more drivers in older trucks than we hurt trucks. We got to where the trucks were stronger than drivers. We made the turnaround, we turned the corner, and we reached at number 8. And everybody's got to see it up close and take their pictures. It's the most copied truck on the market. Well, it's 93. That was a banner year for Bigfoot. You notice he had a Wildfoot body with a race snakebite and also Bigfoot. Now this is a Wildfoot truck. This truck was remarkable. It's actually number 11. Andy Brass did a wheelie run. We've never seen anything like it. It took a lot of heart to hold his foot in the gas pedal, look through the floorboard, and hit the next jump. But he won that race. It's the kind of competitor that he was all the time.
He was great. I'd almost like to see him right now race our current drivers. It would be a great race.
Good drivers and good trucks always make great races, and he was one of the best. And number 11, you know, we built this truck a little different. It was a little bit closer to the ground. The center of gravity was a little bit farther down, and to this day, it's still a really good performer.
In 1994, we had 3 trucks in the race season. We start out with Andy Brass and Bigfoot at number 11.
And we had Dan Runte in the Power Wheels 14, brand new truck.
And the Snakebite was Eric Meager and Bigfoot 10.
It was a banner year for the Bigfoot chassis. 3 of them in the race series and doing very well.
And Dan and Andy were neck and neck through the whole season.
They kept us guessing. I tell you, one guy had a little trouble one weekend, next guy had a little trouble the next weekend, but the points, the last race, Bob, we were only points away. And this whole racing season that year, we tried a lot of things. Of course, we tried the injector, and that helped our engine performance. You notice the shock absorbers, we redid those to handle this type of jump. Once we found out what kind of race tracks the promoters would build, we kind of adapted our trucks accordingly.
You also tried clutching one of the trucks.
We did. Had a little trouble with it, ended up taking it out, but it's something that we look at in the future. We learned some things from it, but went back to the Ford automatic transmission and carried us through. And when it was all said and done after that fantastic race series that year, Andy Brass showed the true champion that he was and beat out his teammates and won his 4th championship.
And with that, Andy retired from monster trucks. In 1995, Dan Runte and Bigfoot 14 Power Wheels, he raced Eric Meager and Bigfoot 15, a brand new chassis, Jim.
Well, you know, that we started that year with Dan coming off of last year at second best, and then he wanted to be the man that year. He came out very aggressive, and then we had Bigfoot 15 on a new truck and a new driver. You know, a new truck always has a few problems. We had driveline problems with number 15. We couldn't keep a drive shaft in it at first, and Eric was very, very aggressive. There was an ounce of power there. He used it all. But Dan, being so competitive, they raced most of the final races together.
It was a great year. Great year for Bigfoot.
Oh, I tell you, it really was, and I tell you what, it was one of the best years for us as a racing team. We kept these two trucks in the top two.
1996, Dan Runte moved into the Bigfoot body on Bigfoot 14.
And what a year he had, you know, he had 8 straight wins.
We also had the wrestle truck bodies on Bigfoot 15. Eric Meager had body.
You know, they had a little bit of character to the races, something new to try.
You can see the different bodies on the wrestle truck. There's more than one body in this for the year.
And we race rain or shine, mud, we don't care. You look at this racing, guys. They look like they're shot out of a gun. Everything improved in '96. The trucks went faster. We took our times down to about 5 seconds.
It's a major change.
A major change. In '96, it was just, and Dan kind of pioneered it. We just kept shaving his time. He kept doing things different. We kept doing things different.
That felt just outstanding, perfect, dude. Forwards are the best.
1997, Dan was in his Bigfoot truck again, and Eric Meager and Bigfoot 15 had a new body on, Jim.
Yes, Snakebite. You know, these animated trucks, and people love them, and Snakebite just did a great job. Eric just ran hard. The championship, it just proved way too elusive for Dan that year. He had a number of setbacks, and Eric just accelerated all through the year.
Yeah, Eric was very, very true to life. Every race he was the same. He was very competitive in this. And after his 3rd year of trying, he got his first series.
We call him Mr. Consistency. When it came to racing, he was ready.
Maybe Dan shared too many secrets with him. In 1998, Bigfoot won its 8th championship. Eric Meager went from, he had wrestler bodies on to snakebite body. This year he's running the Firestone Wilderness body. Dan is still in Bigfoot number 14.
And Dan pushed him again. He pushed him all year. And Eric seemed to be up to the challenge. The chassis worked well. Very, very competitive racing.
Yeah, these two drivers are probably the best in the country. They're very competitive, and they work well with each other.
Yes, they do. Great friends and great competitors.
And we had a little different type of racing this year. We're doing more than just a straight line.
Racing continues to evolve.
Definitely. We started New Millennium with a new sanctioning body called Pro MT, and they've got new timing equipment. For the first time ever, monster trucks are starting and finishing by timing lights. We have reaction time and mile per hour readings also. It's going to be a great series from this point on.